What's up, guys? Staying here from Rocky Creek. I hope everybody's doing good. My belly's nice and full now with what we made there was a deer sausage. It's like spicy deer sausage with some onions and egg with some white cheddar cheese, quiche, egg pie, whatever you want to call it. We like to do that every so often because when you get an abundance of eggs, that's an easy way to use up a good 9 to 12 eggs with a quick, delicious breakfast that's good and hot and only takes probably 5 to 10 minutes to put together, and then just time to cook it in the oven. So now that we got that done, what we're gonna do today is we're down here at our garden because, as you can see, and I've mentioned in previous videos, it is kaputs at this point. All that's left are some cherry tomatoes on the vine that have rotted off, the peppers that have frozen and died off, and a couple rotted up and shriveled up watermelons. But in order to take this down to where we can get the ground cover up, I'm going to talk about 2 tools that if you're going to be homesteading, whether that's raising animals or a garden of some point, that I highly suggest you get. I went through my first 3 years, I'd say, of homesteading or working towards a homestead lifestyle without it. And as I've gotten bigger, I would have needed this tool much more often. And I have learned it is a huge time saver and a lot less wear and tear on your body. So they don't cost a whole lot. So let's talk about them here right now. All right, guys, before I show you the tool, as you can see, I have removed all of the electrical netting from around the garden. We've gotten all the cattle panels out. And so now all that I have left are a whole bunch of T-posts and a couple smaller grade T-posts that I had on the outer corners that were holding up the electrical fencing pretty taut. This is when things get a little bit hairy for me when I tear down the garden, but now it's gonna be so much easier. And let me show you why. So guys, when I first started this journey a couple years ago, 2 years ago was when I really started using T-posts a lot. And for those of y'all that have been with us since the very beginning, you have seen videos, plenty of them, where I'm trying to use a large sledgehammer to beat these T-posts in. Many people comment and saying, you need to get a post driver. It's gonna save you a ton of time and it's gonna save on your body. And you know, sadly, it took me a little over 2 years when I finally bought a post driver for this year. And I can tell you, it took me having to get bad tennis elbow and shoulder issues to finally decide to do this, which was stupid on me. I think this thing, if I remember right, was like around $35. It wasn't something crazy. It was around 30 to 35. And this has been a game changer. I can pound a post in literally probably a quarter of the amount of time that it took me with a sledgehammer. And it is like no effort or wear and tear on my body. Our ground is fairly rocky, and even then, it's a million times easier. So this has been a game changer. But this year, just as much as this was a game changer going in, I have a new device that will be a game changer pulling these out. So last year at the end of my garden, I pulled every one of these T-posts out by hand. And there was a ton of brain exploding pressure as I tried to pull these things out. I wore myself out to death. I would wrap around like so, hook, and I would just pull. But if you notice, with the new driver, I've got these things way deeper, and there was zero chance that I was going to pull these out this year. But fortunately now, for $50 at Tractor Supply, you may be able to get them cheaper somewhere else in other brands. This is the only one that they had at Tractor Supply, and that's the closest feed store to me. I do prefer Rural King, but that's a matter of a difference of a 5-minute drive to about a 40-minute drive. So, but this guy has been phenomenal. This is a T-post puller. Or post puller. You can use it for various types, and we actually use this. I told you all about me helping a friend out with a political campaign. First time I've ever done something like that, and one of the things I helped him out with was putting in and pulling up his signage. And this thing, when it came time to pull up the signs, it was phenomenal. I was super impressed with this thing, and now I get to use it here on the homestead, which is even nicer. So I got to use it for 2 things. And even one of the other people who are participating in a local campaign saw us pulling all of our posts up like that with this thing. And he's like, what is that? I got to get one of those. So we helped him out. We pulled a bunch of his posts up as well. But nonetheless, let me show you how easy this thing is to use, particularly on your standard T-posts that many of you will eventually use if you're going to start to do your own homestead. So it's hard to really see some because of all the leaves out here, but you kind of got different options. You got a hook here that you can run a chain around and pull up if you choose to do so. Or I found that this box spot works awesome for a standard T-post, and I'll show you how you do it. So all you do is put the plate down, lift the handle all the way up. You hook it anywhere on the T-post. Generally that will catch below one of your teeth. And it is literally as simple as I can do it one-handed, pulling the T-post right out the ground. Now let's say you got it super deep and you need to do it some more. All you need to do is lift the handle back up, and look, it like ratchets down the post. Pull it again. And that T-post is completely out of the ground with no effort, without breaking a sweat. And I really could do it with one hand if I really wanted to. Fantastic tool, game changer on my body, and game changer when it comes to time. I'll show you how quickly I can get all these posts out right here. Guys, that was 4 posts in probably 30 seconds when I spent hours out here last year trying to get up about 8 posts. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of these knocked out really quick using this awesome tool, and then we'll talk a little bit more. Well guys, this post puller right here, I just did 16 big T-posts, your standard like 5 or 6 foot tall, run-of-the-mill, heavy-duty T-post, along with 5 of your smaller grade T-posts that I used as like my corner stakes to keep the fence taut. So I was able to pull up about 21 T-posts, and I would estimate that I probably did it in about 10 minutes or less. And last year I spent so much time and so much energy trying to pull these posts out. You know, I don't consider myself old by no means. You know, I'm in my mid to late 30s, and for me though, I have finally come to the realization that I need to start working smarter and not so much as harder. I'm not shy about doing some hard work now, but the reality is that although I try to save money where I can, sometimes spending $30 on a driver and $50 on a puller, that $80 is as much as just not going out to eat twice a month, something to that effect. So I highly suggest that if you're going to get into any type of a homestead lifestyle where you're going to need to utilize T-posts, which is some of your most economical ways of running fencing or doing things with a garden, and they last forever, I highly suggest that when you're spending your money, go ahead and get these items in the beginning. It'll save you a ton of time, it'll save you a ton of energy, and it'll save you from injuries in the future. And it frees up your time to get other stuff done on the homestead so you're more productive. Well guys, that's gonna wrap everything up for today. I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of this garden stuff put away, get it organized, and then hopefully here in the very near future, I'll come out here, we'll blow all these leaves off of the garden area, get all this fabric up, and we'll go ahead and put this area to rest for the off season. Well guys, Thanksgiving's coming up right around the corner. I'm so thankful for each and every one of you that come along with us. I hope you all have a wonderful time spending it with your family. We are so thankful to have a lot of stuff that we have here, and it's easy to get down and negative and to be pessimistic at times when some things just aren't going the way that we think. But in all reality, if we're given another day to live, then we should be thankful for it. We should be thankful for our family and be thankful for the many opportunities that we're given on a daily basis. So guys, I appreciate you all. May you have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and we'll see you here very soon on our next video. Bye guys.